rather than bringing in a partner for less, of which you are the big gun, and you're, just look at the 8A contracts out there, the 51% of companies all over the world, they won't play for anything less, okay? So that's a goal. Any other questions before we go party? Yes?
I was just going to ask you what, you know anything about how, maybe I could ask you offline, but
Let's ask all three of us here.
one of the presidential candidates had an interesting way to not pay taxes for some monies that he gives to his kids or whatever.
Those aren't necessarily,
Maybe
yes.
out of the scope or something.
Yeah, it's kind of out of the scope of this, but the point is that there are certain maximums you can give money to your children without the gift tax. And there's certain amounts, and you got to watch that. For example, my parents are in their 80s, mid-80s, and the three of us, chitlins, kind of like Christmas because my parents are kind of, they're getting down to the goal line and they kind of know it, and it's okay, it's not a sad thing, but the point is that they're just trying to lighten their big bag of money, and the three kids just happen to be going, yeah, it's okay. So they're giving what they can under a taxation basis, on a regular basis. Our birthdays and Christmas come around and we all get a nice little treat, and we thank our parents for that. And so that's in that line of how some of those people can filter. Steve?
I think he's talking about $100 million trust that
Oh, that's a whole different deal. Normal people, we're talking about what my parents are doing to me. Okay? The other thing is, what my parents have set up family trusts, so that when they do reach their demise, their house, their property, and all their investments are in a family trust that isn't going to have the death tax, the estate tax hitting them, because it's an existing corporation. A trust is a corporation that will have perpetuity, and then the three of us will figure out, we become the executors or executrix of that particular trust, and then we disseminate that money as we can. So again, when you look out at your parental units who have the BBM, counsel them on getting a trust, getting legal counsel, getting a will, okay, that says where this is going to go, so that you don't have starting the wars between the chitlins here over the parental droppings, when that, and you also protect it from Uncle Sam going in there and getting his grimy little, spiny little, zombie apocalypse hands in your loot. So, hope that was work.
Scott, one question. You want to talk about when continuing on with the demise, if a partner dies who happens to be married to somebody, you want to...
Go ahead.
So you have a partnership. Scott and I are partners, and we're good at what we do. Let's assume we're all happy. And the previous scenario didn't come to play. Everything's going great, and I'm good at marketing, and I keel off or hit by a bus. It doesn't matter. And so I would naturally leave my value in that business to my wife, which Bobby is a wonderful lady, but she doesn't have the marketing skills, and Scott really doesn't want to do business with her because he's got an accountant or whatever. So you can take out life insurance on your partner so that she gets the value of or our shares in the business, takes the cash. Scott, in a business which doesn't have a lot of cash necessarily, maybe you're doing 100,000 cash that you have available for this, that, and the other thing each year, but the value of my shares was $500,000 or $1 million. He can't pay for that out of his cash flow. So maybe insurance is a way to deal with that situation.
Yeah, I have a partner. We own property in another city, and in our agreement we have exactly that, an insurance thing, because I don't want half of this really cool place going to her daughter. And then I'd have to buy them out, even though her daughter's super cool and everything. The point is that there's just, trouble in River City if you go down there. So the life insurance thing above partners is a very key element. Thank you, Rick, for that. Any other questions? Yes?
I have a question. Got a lot of young people here and they'll have children. At what point are you going to...
Unless they drink the water here at APU. Okay. Comes right out of University Lake there.
So my question is, are you going to address at any point some of the different ways that children can be a part of a business at various ages and levels?
Ooh, good question. No. That's not on any of the topics, but maybe during some of the topics tomorrow, there could be some appropriate twists in of your question into that. But at this point, in our hooking up, Rick,
one thing, you do have to be 18 to be a business owner.
Okay,
Tyler, for instance, could not own his business, he had a business here, he had to have his father own it until he turned 18. At the age of 18, you then can become a business owner, but before that time, you cannot own a business in the state law.
Even for trust.
What?
Since when?
Since Tyler just turned 18 and was able to own his own business.
No, I mean, when is that law and that rule being in place?
Oh, for a while, because again, Tyler just turned 18 about 3 months ago, and he was able now to become the principal owner of that business. Before that time, his father was the designee on the business. And that's true in the state of Georgia, where I came from too. You have to be of age to own a business, to own it outright, and be responsible to own a business at the age of 18.
because you're making,
Generally, a lawyer,
you're making
that's-
contracts with people. If you're a
Right.
15-year-old kid, you want to sign a contract with a 15-year-old kid? No.
As a sole proprietor, though, a kid can do that.
Yes, you can have your lemonade stand and do things like that, but well, if you advance to, I think,
LLC.
Tyler's an LLC in here, okay? All right.
They could get a business license at 14. Right.
Yeah, you know, get your checking account at 12 too,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the, like you said, the lemonade stand, but to do an LLC or an S corp, the attorney will tell you you gotta be 18 to sign the document.
so Al, we're done here, why don't you advise us on what to do now?
Okay, well, we have dinner, we have food, and we have wine and punch and some drinks, truly hot outside. We're all set up, so please help yourselves, and appreciate you coming out today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
And we got Lee Treadwell coming tomorrow, right?